and the tears have not left my eyes, and the peaceful sleep had departed from me, and the peaceful sleep had departed from me. I took the oar and started rowing, but my hopes have failed. My weakness and my ignorance brought more grief to me. And my Lord at the shore sees me, and my Lord at the shore sees me. When will you come to me and restore my hope? When will you come to me and restore my hope?
All right, guys, thanks for coming. I'll get stuck into it straight away. Got Peter Michael who's giving us a talk. I'm not going to give anything away, okay? We've spoken about this throughout the week. The topic's called Life Outside of Home. I haven't heard this before, but I'm sure it's going to be ripper. Thanks, Pete.
There's too many compliments, Abuna. That's not what it's going to be. Mic or no mic? Can I do that mic? You want mic? Okay, let's do mic. Wow, I sound odd.
I need to get close to you, man.
Okay, come sit here. Do you guys know that the number one fear is fear of public speaking? Death is actually number 2. Anyone heard that before? Really? Okay. So, yeah, if I say anything too bad, just kill me. It'll be easier for me. It'll be good.
Not just yet.
Not just yet. You wanna? Yeah. I have to embarrass myself more before we get to that point. Anyway, life outside of home. I wanted to talk about lockdown. First, I want to hear from everyone. What was lockdown for you? I think this is like a wall. I am the speaker. So I want to be normal. What was lockdown like? Work. Yeah. And it's normal. Like before, work on, work off. Okay, probably. The same. No one felt anything different? It was draining. It was so different. Good different or bad different? Bad different.
I liked it.
Some people do. We'll talk about that in a second.
Talk to you later.
Yeah, I think one of the highlights, other than no traffic, if anyone worked from home, the joys of waking up at like 8:45 to start work at 9, and you don't have to like dress up. It's just in your pajamas, you sit down on the desk, you start working, no one can see anything, just blur your background, and it's just super cool. Some people worked from bed. I think that was a step too far. I don't know about working from bed. I don't think that's real work. But for me, I want to also hear your experience closer this second lockdown as it kept going, and then every time we think it will get better, the cases go up by another few hundred, and we realize that it's not going to be over anytime soon. Did anyone feel that crushing sense of life is just eh? Yeah. It's a bit sad, isn't it? Now, what do you think that meh feeling, where do you think it came from? What do you think it means? Exactly. What are we doing here? Life is on repeat. So, what was the first thing you've done when the lockdown was over? Eat. But I'm assuming you met up with people to eat? See, priorities. I find it funny that at the beginning, when I heard that we're going into lockdown, I was happy. I was like, finally a break. Life gets to sort of lay back, and then we're gonna do a lot of games and Netflix, and we'll watch everything, and we'll catch up on like shows that I was watching when I was a kid. You do whatever. And then by the end, I was like, oh my God, get me out of here. I am losing my mind. I find that there's a very interesting contrast there. Just from my experience, we did everything that we thought will make us super happy, and then after that was what? Like, what was the point? Like, it's not fulfilling. It wasn't satisfying. It's very interesting to me that there is that gap between expectations and reality. Will it deliver what you think it will deliver? Because we all want to like buy that car or live in that house, or when you're young, I don't know. What do you guys like? What do you want?
Exactly.
Exactly the same thing. So that's probably never changed. So sometimes we have these expectations, say, when I get this, I'll finally be happy. But we got a bit of a taste over the lockdown that, did it actually deliver? What do you guys think? Yes, no?
Could you repeat that, please?
Like, did lockdown, like, when you did everything you wanted to do during the lockdown, was that enough? Were you happy?
Nothing's ever enough.
Nothing's ever enough. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. I couldn't have said it better myself. Look, man, I should have just said, yeah, if we've got the right people, I don't even have to prepare. Okay. Next point. I ran through like a third of what I wanted to talk about. I don't have enough material to keep going. Anyway. You do. Okay, we'll have fun. We'll have fun. Someone said this is recorded, so I hope that someone can mysteriously or quickly find it and make it disappear. Yes? Done? Okay. So, after lockdown, people were seeing all of the family or all of their friends just go out, try to do things, see everyone that you've missed over time. Why do you think that is? Like, it's funny, it's something, yeah. You feel that loneliness, that separation. Do you reckon that's the worst thing about lockdown? Again, I am not the speaker, stop knowing me. I have to, look, you're not, you're...
I think there was a lot of bad things. It wasn't too much. Like, you could still connect with people online. You could call people.
Yeah, but was it the same?
It wasn't the same. But I think there were more draining aspects for me personally.
Okay. If you have to study from home, that is the worst thing on earth. Studying from home is not fun. You think it is, but then you realize you have no idea what you're studying. You can't ask anyone for help, and when you try, it's pretty much useless. And then, did anyone do one of those exams where they have the camera on and the mic on for 3 hours, and you can't go to the bathroom for 3 hours? And they're actually recording the screen. That was the worst experience that I've during the lockdown. So yes, there were a lot of draining things. But if you think about it, we normally keep up with these things because we're surrounded with people we love. We have company, we have friends, we have people where we do this together. We're not on our own. You're not just done by yourself. And when that is cut out during the lockdown, you feel like you're running on empty. You're just by yourself. This is like life is revolving around you, and this is all you have, and you're just trying to push through it. Just get me by one day after another. Did anyone watch the movie Click, where the guy had the fast forward? And it felt like we just want to hit that fast forward and just like get it over with, get life back to normal. So what do you think it is about other people that makes life different? Why is it that when we connect together... Okay, is this about the topic or unrelated? No, that laughing is unrelated. Okay, sorry. So what do you think makes other people, why does it make life better? Really? No answers? I am not the speaker. Just talk normally.
Relationships are the most meaningful part of
That's it, isn't it? Like whenever we think something... Whenever we think something will satisfy us, something will be that, once I have that, I'll be happy. But you could have the worst meal, but if you're surrounded by your best friends, it doesn't matter. It's actually all the better because the people that matter are there. So, in that light, now, oh wow, newcomers, hello, please come in, join us. Come on, quick, quick, quick. This will be harder with a bigger group, especially when they've lost half of the talk already. Hi, people who don't know me, I'm Peter. I'm talking about life outside of home and after the lockdown. So we're just talking about lockdown. Did anyone enjoy the lockdown, or for how long? Lasts a bit and then disappears. So we're talking about why we're over the lockdown, and we've went through. Am I recapping okay? That on point? Yeah. And then we've talked about that we were missing other people. We weren't connecting with other people. Like, even think about it. Like, during the lockdown, we were watching TV or playing games. You're trying to relate to the characters on the screen. It's the same thing. You're just trying to have some sort of a relationship. And you know when you watch 8 seasons of a show and then it's over, and you feel that emptiness inside? Because these characters became your family for 2 weeks, and now it's over? And this is what we're about. This is, we as people, we want to connect to other people. One thing that I want to highlight while we're here, I'm taking a bit of detour, and then I'll come back to this. Matthew 25, does everyone know that scene when it says the Son of Man standing and everyone is coming and they go to the left and to the right? And there is the group of people who Christ tells them, hold on, I've got it here. Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. I remember every time I read this, because sometimes, like in my head, I think that, like Christ would say, you fasted for 400 days this year, or if you went to church like 18 times in 2 days, or sometimes we have our own conception of what it means to get to heaven, what it means to be someone who sort of, what is the difference? What makes you a person who goes to heaven? And if you look at it, everything that was said, if you're hungry, if you're sick, if you're in prison, these are things that happen between people, from one person to another. We connect with the other person. We build that bridge. Life doesn't revolve around us anymore. Life is all about us. It's not about me. Everyone is in need. We all are here for each other. And that's why when we got disconnected from each other, we lost that fuel that makes us run. We just run out. It's just, did anyone run out of gas before? In the car? Really? What did you do after? Like, did you call So it didn't stop with, yeah. But I'm not sure if people know that noise. When you know that you're just, good luck. It's like, what time is it? I'm not going home today. And this is what happened to us as people. We ran out of juice. We ran out of fuel that keeps us pushing, keeps us humming, keeps us living. And that brings me to sort of, now that lockdown is over, and we are outside of home, and we're back to normal-ish. What does this mean for life moving forward? Because we've all had expectations of, I will do this, I will be happy in this way. I will do that, that will get me to be there, and then I'll be happy. Because ultimately, what everyone wants on some level is to be happy. Like, would anyone disagree with that? No. And that's it. But now, through our experience in lockdown, we know that it is God and His other people, it's these relationships in our life that makes it going. This is what will fulfill us. It's not the other things that we thought before the lockdown. Does anyone read? Does anyone know The Weight of Glory by C.S. Lewis? Anyone read that? No? Okay. I'm slightly stealing the whole thing from Weight of Glory, so someone could have said, yes, you've already said half of that thing already. The Great Divorce, maybe? No? Have you read it? What do you think? It is very full on. But to relate that to that, and to relate to what we're talking about with the kind of people that God was saying are going to heaven, like this is, you've helped other people, your life weren't revolving around yourself, you've extended yourself, you've sacrificed yourself, you've sort of, does anyone know the book Imitation of Christ? Thomas A. Kempis? Yes, no, maybe, no, okay. Where are we learning this stuff from? What is our guide? It is the teaching of Jesus Christ. This is the Bible, this is what we're doing. He said a lot of things that back then made no sense, and some stuff we read until today that makes no sense. Like we all know, hold on, I'll bring it up. I think it was Luke. Luke 9:23 to 25. Can someone bring that up? I'm doing like Sunday school now. They do this with the kids. I've probably spent maybe half my life not understanding a word of Luke 9:23. And we read it all the time. You got it up? Yeah. Is it? Yes, do you want to read it?
Just that first.
Then he said to them all, "If anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me." That's it.
The one after. Let's do 24. Actually, 24 and 25.
For whoever desires to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will save it. For what profit is it to a man if he gains the whole world and is himself destroyed or lost?
Thank you. Now, how many of you are familiar with this verse? Do you know what it means? No. So, it's sort of a paradox, isn't it? It says, if you want to save your life, you have to give it away. And if you try to save your life, you lose it. Does that make any sense? Yes, no, maybe. I'm not the speaker, guys. I want to hear. None. Paradox makes sense. But sorry, Abu Nabi. Maybe not in this life. So what do you think we're missing for it to make sense?
There has to be something above us that for some people for us to lose, there has to be something to gain. That makes sense.
Yeah. I've heard. Anyone familiar with? Okay. I'll stop asking because I think the answer is no. GK. Okay. I won't even mention names. I have to mention names. I'm sorry. G.K. Chesterton, Orthodoxy by G.K. Chesterton. Did anyone read that? No. Because he has a full chapter on paradoxes. And one amazing, I have never understood until I read that part. He was saying, for a warrior, if you're in war, if you're too afraid to die, you will be a coward, you will hide, and then the enemy will find you, and then you're done. But if you fight with a weird carelessness about your life, you might actually make it. He talks about sailors in the sea during a storm, and they know the direction they need to get out of the storm. If they stay where they are, they're dying. But if they risk it, and they've completely risk everything, they might just make it. And if you give yourself away, you save it. And when we're talking about connections with other people, we know that if you try to save your life, if look after me by I want to do what I want to do, so I want to watch this, or I want to buy that, or I'd rather do this, versus giving your time away. Does anyone know Manna for Life? Shameless plug, Tuesday nights. Do you know what it is? No? Chris is not here. So we've got think of it as a soup kitchen. Come volunteer. If anyone wants the details, come see me after. And we see like really fantastic people, a lot of conspiracy theories, but we're helping other people. It's amazing. And if you think about it, it's not just that, but through our life every day, if we give out of our time, out of our money, out of our attention, out of our effort for other people to connect, to grow, to make life better, that's amazing. This is what it means to give away your life. And this is how you save it. Does that make any sense? Yes, a bit, maybe, no? Okay, let's take another example. And this is one of my favorites. Everyone makes fun of me because of it. Did anyone hear the saying along the lines of, the decisions you make in turn make you? Does that make sense? So as my funny example, if I eat KFC 4 times a day, I'm not going to fit through this door. I make that decision every day, and that decision shapes me just because I make it. If I decide to go to the gym 4 times a day, then I will look very different. Hey guys, come, join us. So the decisions we make change us. So if you think about it in terms of what we do every day, how we spend our time, are we making decisions to give away time, effort, money for other people? How does that shape us? So if I were you, once I get out of here, go read The Great Divorce. C.S. Lewis, The Great Divorce, do it. But I'll give you a bit of spoilers why. He talks about the us as people. Every decision we make, exactly like I'm talking about food, but when you relate to other people, when you connect with other people, when you help other people, when you get outside of your way, when life is not about you, but life is about us, we change into that kind of person who is more of a heavenly person. But if you do the opposite, if you only think about yourself, if you only think about what you want, if you only think about what will make you happy, with no one else in consideration, what kind of person are you going to be? The more you do it, the more you get into the cycle, the more you grow into that shape of person. Same thing with KFC in the gym. Which direction are you choosing to do? And a lot of times, again, like food, we're not actively thinking about it. Like, I don't always think what I'm going to eat, is it healthy or not? It's whatever comes. And same with, are we helping other people? Are we getting out of our way? We're not actively thinking about it. At least I know I don't do it as often as I should. It's something that's, if I do it, if I don't do it, I don't do it, it's fine, it doesn't matter. It's not something important for us. It just seems that way. But that's why after the lockdown, it's something that light went into my head. Well, this is what it means. If we shut down our own selves in the lockdown, it's just so horrible and we want something better. And now we know what is better. Well, why don't we get up, do meaningful actions every day that makes the world a better place? I heard someone say a compliment to someone, and it was like the ultimate compliment. They said, if everyone was dealing with people like you are, this world would be perfect. Just imagine that. If someone is so good in their life, that the world would be perfect. If you think about this world is not perfect. Everyone's doing their own thing. Some people don't want to take the vaccine. Riots in the city. People are divided. We're not looking after each other. Everyone is making their own choice. Which way do you want to go? So for us to be, if we go back to that verse where we're standing on either side of Christ, these people who are living in heaven think that perfect world will go on together forever. The world we're in now, the world is breaking apart. Every day someone's talking about how so-and-so is just so horribly done, and how the politics are bad, and climate change, and how whatever could happen in the future. We know that there's a lot of things that jeopardize the future of the world. But if everyone acted in a perfect way, if everyone grew outside of themselves, everyone extended themselves, then we'd be in a perfect world. And what would that world be? It would be like heaven. And this is why when Christ was talking, you have done all of that, you have went out of your way, you have lived perfectly, and now you'll go into the place where you fit. Because when you become that kind of person, you fit in that place. And where everything is perfect, where everything adds up, that is what I would call home. Because you think about it, we are told, work from home if you can. Stay home, don't leave home. You can't have visitors to the home. But if it's so cramped and restricted, is it home anymore? It's just a place. But our home is not here. Our home is a place where we're all loved perfectly and help each other and give away ourselves. We don't hold anything back. That becomes home. And this is why we're in home. We're not in the perfect place where we need to be. Like, even the smallest things, you go out and the weather is horrible. You know something is not right. Oh, I'm wearing too much clothes. I'm not wearing enough clothes. Now it's sunny. Now it's raining. It's all over the place. And being here outside of home, I think, to me, like, we ought to work together, love each other, connect with each other, see who needs help, get out of our own way, and not let that lockdown pass us by and forget the important lesson that it's trying to teach us, that I don't matter, everyone else does. And it's not that I think less of myself, it's just that I don't think of myself. I'm not a part of the equation. This is C.S. Lewis, Mere Christianity. He says, humility is not to think less of ourselves, it's to think of ourselves less. To not worry about what I'm going to eat or how much I'll have to. We don't take yourself out of the equation. Look at what other people need. One other interesting thing he says, sometimes when we think about, we want to be selfless. And he talks about this idea of selflessness or unselfishness. You know, it's like, I need to like stay away from this, or I need to not spend a lot of money on stuff that I don't need. Do you know what the opposite, okay, I'm changing topics a bit. Do you know what the opposite of love? It's not hate. See, that was a revelation. The opposite of love is not hate. Any other suggestions? No? Yeah, okay. Opposite of love is indifference, is not caring at all. See, love and hate are very strong passions. You know, people hate things or people love things. They have that power in them. St. Paul, he had hate. He hated Christians. He was killing them left and right. He had passion. He had hate. And when that got converted, it became incredible love. He was a completely different person. But the passion is the same. They're not opposites. The opposite is to not care at all, is to not get out of who we are, or just to sit on the sidelines. Life comes day after day, and it just doesn't matter. We lose sight of what we need, or who we are, or what our purpose is. Does that make sense? Any questions, suggestions? I don't know how we're doing for time. I don't know if you want me to keep talking. Keep talking? It's like, or just show of hands, is this mildly interesting, or am I just boring everyone? Mildly interesting, okay. Yes, I was talking about selflessness. Some people think, I am not being selfish. I am not going to spend like this incredible amount of money on something that I don't need. But selflessness and selfishness are two very different things. If you think the opposite of selfishness, of being selfish, is not being unselfish. It's very different. It's charity. It's love. I am not holding stuff from myself for the very sake of just not getting them myself. But it's all about giving to other people. It's all about getting our own way and contributing to make this a better world. Like, there's no point that I deny myself of things if no one else gets it. That doesn't make me a saint. That doesn't matter. So, in a lot of ways, we have to, if you stop looking, just because I feel like we live our lives like this. And we're just looking under our feet. We're not looking ahead. We're not looking at what we want. We're not looking what other people want. How can I be helpful? How are we growing? And to me, I was happy when the lockdown was coming, because that would give me a break and a break is a good time to reset. What are we doing? Why are we here? What can we do to get out of our own way? How can we grow? How can we make the world better? To me, that revelation is why I'm speaking here today. I'm not big on speaking. When I was saying, no one ever comes to me to ask to speak about something, we try to find speakers. But I found if that's what we're about, if that is what it means to get out of our own ways, to worry less about what I will look like in this recording, or if someone watching at home and making fun of me, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What matters is living on purpose, getting our own way, doing what we can to make the world a better place. So we, in turn, grow and become like those creatures that are heavenly creatures, the kind of people that Christ would say, come, this is the home that I've prepared for you. Because if we turn and live only thinking of our own selves, if we shut ourselves in and not care about anyone or anything, again, read The Great Divorce. Finish here and read The Great Divorce. If we are these kind of people who don't care about anything, heaven will mean nothing to us. Like, it doesn't matter after that. We go back to that super draining lockdown kind of mentality where we're out of energy and we're forever out of energy. And we've locked ourselves into it. And it's the kind of thing that, did anyone read, I'm sorry, Screwtape Letters, C.S. Lewis? Do you know the bit about the road to hell? Well, I'll paraphrase. The smoothest road to hell is the one without milestones, without road signs. It's soft underfoot, and you just fade into it. And he says, it doesn't matter if you're patient. So the devil calls us patient. If you get him in with murder or cards, cards is no better than murder if it does a trick. We just want them into that slow, very unalarming path into nothing. And that's what we seemingly end up in. And we don't think about it. And if we never take the chance to wake up and look at it, that's where we end up going. And this is where every day we have a choice. Are we making a choice to grow, get closer to Christ, get closer to other people? Or are we further shut down on ourselves? Did anyone hear something along the lines of, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail? It is more or less what's happening. If it's not something in the center of our attention, it just fades into the background. Then it's not first priority anymore. It's just, when I get to church on Sunday, I skip this Sunday, it's fine, I'll go next Sunday. And then just Christianity, instead of it becoming who we are, is just something on the sidelines that we just revisit every now and then. But if we're serious about who we are, and if we are completing this life outside of home on our way to go back home, then that's where we need to be. I think that covers most of the points that I wanted to say. What do you guys think? Any discussions, questions, opinions?
All right, so you say, oh, please.
Okay. Don't worry.
So,
Talk.
so you were talking about being selfless, correct? So how do you become a selfless person if you first don't become selfish? Does that make sense?
That does make sense, yes.
Yeah. So like to set yourself up in a way to be a selfless person,
Yes, that makes
you have
sense.
to be
Yes.
selfish in a way.
Yes. And you know how that works? I am selfish about going back home. I'm selfish about going to heaven. I want that, and I'm very selfish. And this is why you go out and give out of yourself. You are still selfish. And selfishness is not a bad thing, but it's how you deal with it. I know I might be kicked out of church when I'm saying, but no, we love life. We love God who created life. And that makes us on some level selfish. So I'm not, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But if you're selfish in a way that you want everything for me and everyone else doesn't matter, life is only about me, that's a very different kind of selfish. What do you think? Does it answer your... Okay.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. So in a
I've
way-
wrapped it to say
yeah.
that exactly. Yeah.
So you're saying there's different types. Yeah, there's different types of.
Because loving life and getting closer to Christ, getting closer to people. I'm not on the mic. These are good things. And if you think a lot of I can't remember any exact sayings, but that's basically it. Am I making sense? Is that good? Yeah? Okay. Thank you. No worries. What else? We have 23 minutes that we need to fill with content. Any input? No? Everyone is just... I remember that vague smile. I remember the first time I had to talk to a group, and that would haunt me at night. I just didn't know how to... like, what are people thinking of me? Are they making fun of me in the back of their heads? Like, is anyone even listening? Did any of that come across? It's very daunting from the other side. Very random thing that I'd like to share. Someone was talking about a very similar talk, and he mentioned a poem. I've listened to that talk maybe 10 times, so the poem is ingrained in here. And I can't remember who wrote it, but it was a war in Shanghai, and it went something like this. Shanghai is burning, and I am dying too. But there is no death more certain than death inside of you. Some men die of shrapnel, others go down in flames. But most men die inch by inch while playing their little games. And I feel that what we do every day. We just play our small games. It's like, did you see what this person say about me? Next time I'll show them when this happens. And we all have our little games. And that becomes life for us. That's what we think about, occupies our mind, everything that's there, and we all get trapped in that way. So unless we get out of it and see overall where we're going. All right, someone else has to say something. I can't speak for another 20 minutes. What do you guys think? I want opinions. Am I way off? Have you ever thought about this before? George wants to say something. Of course, my pleasure. Great Divorce it's fiction. So in the book, I'll spoil a bit from the beginning and I'll give away the idea. C.S. Lewis is in a darkish place. It's almost like the sun is setting and it's just in that little bit before it goes completely down. And people are lining up to a bus. And people are in the bus, they start fighting, and he quickly finds himself, he didn't think he'll make it to the bus, but people kept fighting and going out of the line. And then he gets into the bus. And then he says that I've noticed that people are see-through. They lack substance. They're like ghosts. And the bus starts moving. And it keeps moving not forward, but moves up. And moves up, and up, and then some light breaks through. And he looks in the mirror next to the driver, and he sees that he's one of the ghosts. And as the bus goes up, it starts becoming bigger. And then they realize that they left the threshold of hell to get into the threshold of heaven. And every character he describes on the bus is how these people got so wrapped up around themselves that they lost all substance. They lost touch of reality. They lost who they are. And as you get into heaven, you see people who grew in love, and they come out to try and to invite the ghosts back into heaven. How can they grow back into real people? How can they regain touch of who they are, and who Christ is, and what life is really about? And the rest of the book is conversations between people and how they've grew to become people of substance, people who are solid. So they describe that the ghosts can interact with things around them. They're too weak, they've lost touch, they mean nothing anymore. But people who are in heaven, they're strong of substance. They speak with authority, they are real people. And the conversations, I've read the book at least 6 times. It's fascinating, it does not get old. And every single interaction, you will go through life and say, if I keep making this decision, if I keep talking to people in a certain way, I will end up like such and such character or such and such character. And you see that, and you can't unsee it, and you understand what it means. Are you growing into a better person, or are you losing touch with what matters? Is that good enough description, or do you want me to ruin more? don't spoil. Weight of Glory. I've covered probably half of Weight of Glory. One other concept that C.S. Lewis makes. He says it's not just about us. And this is where the weight of glory, the actual words weight of glory come up. He says, everyone around us, we are surrounded by immortal people. Civilizations are temporary, but every single one of us, we're immortal. We will outlast these civilizations. And the people that we snob, and people that we lie to, and people that we betray, these are people who one day will be like heavenly creatures that would be tempted to bow down to, or hellish creatures that has completely lost touch. And everything we do pushes people to one way or another. Again, with a decision about ourselves that also affects other people. And it's the weight of glory that everything we do takes in consideration these other immortal people. And where will they be? Are we pushing them into the right direction, or are we not? Is that good? No? Yes? One other thing, I can talk about C.S. Lewis for like the next 2 years straight. Like I don't even need. Does anyone know the bit from Mere Christianity about hunger? Where he says, I have hunger, and that's good because there's such thing as food. I get thirsty, there is such thing as water. But sometimes I have this longing. And it's a longing that I can't describe. I long for home. I've always been an outcast, lonely. Something is not right. I have this longing. I don't know if you guys, if you're interested to know more about the journey of C.S. Lewis, either read Surprised by Joy, which is the non-fiction version, or you read Pilgrim's Regress, which is based on, does anyone know Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan? No? Okay. Super famous book from about 1500. Also a fascinating book. If you haven't read it, read Pilgrim's Progress. It's a very fictional where the character is named Christian, and he realizes that his world is ending and something is not right, and if he doesn't change something soon, it's all going to be over. And he goes out on his quest trying to find the real. It's vague at the beginning because what is he after? Something is missing, something is not right. And he meets his friends Faithful. And you meet all kinds of characters, and the description of the character is a character name. You have to read. Pilgrim's Regress uses the same thing, where C.S. Lewis is a man named John, and he starts having this longing for something more. The country where he's in is not enough. Something is missing. And he talks about, I feel like I might ruin it too much, but he talks about his journey, the longing that he's had, and then he goes through different countries, which are things like atheism, and then another country would be like pantheism, where he looks at other religions and religions with more than one god. And he describes every time he goes into that country how the way of thinking of that certain theology breaks down life. Because the thing about Christianity and what makes it true, and this is what we're talking about with heaven, truth will last forever. And we know that Christ said nothing will, like, not a word, not a character, nothing will touch it. The truth is eternal. And this is what makes us, like, if you put truth to the test, you cannot break it. And he goes into every other way of thinking of the other religions. And he shows how, if you apply it in different ways, it will break down on you. And he keeps describing all of them until he gets to Christianity. Again, very fictional, and using different characters. And then he gets to what being a Christian is like. Is this interesting at all? Am I just... Yeah. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. What else?
What happens after?
You gotta read the book. I'm gonna ruin it. I'm giving you like summaries. Yeah, like just enough to get you hooked. And it's Honestly, this is the thing that C.S. Lewis tries to, like if you've read Narnia, it's all about waking that longing in us for something more. Yeah, I was talking about hunger and thirst. We have that longing for something more. We don't see it in this world. Doesn't mean that this world is a fraud. No, it means that there is more out there. And it's something that betrays sometimes because we haven't seen it. We haven't experienced it. But every now and then we have snippets. We might call it nostalgia. Maybe it's a book or music or just a very brief milliseconds experience where you thought that this is right, this is heaven. And I think every one of us have just that brief thought. And then we long for that place. We long for when things will be right again, when everything will be okay. When can we live that kind of life? And again, brings us back to our topic. We are here outside of home, longing for that home. And this is how we ought to live every day, so we become the kind of people who fit in that home. Good, bad, on point.
Good, I like it.
Good, you like it. I'm happy that you like it.
That's why I'm here.
That's also why I'm here. Come on, thoughts, new people. Sorry, I haven't met you guys. What are your names? Daniel? Diana? Wow, 3Ds. Where are you guys from? Oakley. How's Abuna Daniel doing? He's good. I haven't seen him in 3 years. Yeah, since before the lockdown. I'm just totally hijacking this. We've got 10 more minutes. Anything you want to talk about? Just give me something, I'll go off of it. Oh, I can feel my... Okay, topics. Anything. Just say one word and I'll go off for another 10 minutes.
Practicing faith in COVID.
Practicing faith in COVID. Well, technically we're out of lockdown, so what do you mean by COVID?
Back then, like before.
Back then.
In lockdown.
You know how
The extended period of time.
you know how Moses spent 40 years in the desert? I think a lot of people have their period in the desert where you work on yourself so when you're out facing the world again, you're ready for it. So it's those things that is a blessing in disguise. Because A, we saw the contradiction, we saw the gap between expectation and reality, and this is what we're talking about today. And B, if we still have that time, that gives us a chance. Well, sometimes I feel angry and I can't help myself. How can I work on my anger? And this is where we get into self-development. And there's a lot of things we can do to improve that. And any time that we have, this is basically our goal. It's our purpose.
How do you differ between right and wrong?
What makes...
Like, okay, I think that's a good point. I mean, like, how do you differ if you know that you're like uncertain whether what you're doing is right or it's wrong? How do you kind of, like, in a sense, figure it out?
Look, there's a lot of context here.
I'm giving you.
Okay. Let's talk philosophically. What makes anything wrong?
The difference between right and wrong.
No. What makes something wrong?
That's bad.
Hmm?
That is bad.
Okay, what makes something bad? What makes anything bad? Well, good things have consequences too. So something is bad if it has bad consequences. Okay, we're on to something. So can you measure consequences for everything you see?
I mean, no. Not everything.
Not everything. Give me an example.
I think that, okay, you can, and you can always see, like, what's going to come out of what you're going to do.
Yeah.
But to a certain extent, there's some things like, say you argue with a friend,
Mm-hmm.
yeah? You don't know, inside you feel, okay, it's not, you shouldn't be doing it. You know, that's your mate. But at the same time, say it's something that you believe in and that's you know, you're trying to get the point across, obviously having care for him or having love
Yeah.
for him, that you don't know whether you're doing the right thing by say arguing with him or you're doing the wrong thing. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. I'll tell you what I think and then I want to hear from you. You said you have that love for him, which is great. So your goal is you care about this person and you want him to see, let's say he's not Christian and you're trying to tell him about God, for example, and he just doesn't see it. And you're arguing with him about it and it's going nowhere. And then you feel like you've lost your friend, you feel like you've done the wrong thing, you feel like you ruined their relationship. What I can tell you is from that interaction, your goal was a noble one. You don't know what happens after that. So you are doing a right thing there. That is good. Maybe in 10 years you might think of some way you could have done it better, but if you wait to find a better way, you'll almost always be too late for everything. So you cannot think that way.
So you're saying your intention.
Your intention is good. The other thing is, if you're talking about, like, let's say God to someone else, people's journey to God could be 100 steps, 200 steps. You don't know if you're step number 1, step number 50, step number 150, or step number 200. If they stop and reject you, or if they're arguing strongly against you, that doesn't mean that it's all lost. You've done your part, God does the rest. So as long as you are doing the right thing at the best of your knowledge, God is happy with that. Like, think of it as school. If you're the teacher for a 1-year-old, yeah, they'll make mistakes, but you can see them improving. And then a person in like grade 5, you should be able to be on that level. And they're doing their best. You don't demand from the grade 5 to do uni-level calculus, because that's different. But as long as they're doing what they can in the right way, that's what matters. What do you think? You like it? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Who else wants to say something? I can go all... Do we have a time limit, Abuna? Yeah. No, we don't have to. Like, if people are happy to talk, I'm happy to bore everyone to death. Like, it's a hobby of mine. We can. Yeah, of course. Are you guys happy with did you understand did the point land? Okay. Abuna, you'll take over? Thank you. Freedom.
Thanks, Pete. A round of applause for Pete. Just to give you that extra bit of discomfort. The clapping. Thanks for tonight, guys. Thanks for tonight, Peter. I really appreciate it. It was awesome. The talk was live streamed, and if anyone wants to go back and revisit anything that Pete said, more than welcome. There's a few dates that we need to announce to you guys over the next few weeks. I think, have everyone finished exams? Still haven't finished exams. Poor bugger. Anyone else? You finished, yeah? Finished? Oh, you finished, Kat, yeah. Everyone finished, okay, cool. So there's a few things that we're trying to organize for the summer holidays. So our Tuesday all day kind of program, we've got the liturgy in the morning and then breakfast afterwards, and then we come back to church at night for Bible study with the Buna Benob. And then on Saturday we have a liturgy on Saturday and Sunday, but then after liturgy on Saturday we have book club, and we're actually reading screw tape letters, yeah. So, Saturday morning at 11 a.m.
Is that like Zoom or do you come?
No, there's no such thing as Zoom anymore. There's no such thing as Zoom anymore. But we actually do it at a cafe. So we read the chapters at home, like during, I think we got 2 weeks, I think, to read, 2 chapters. And then we come back, I think, there's a specific time that Gina, if anyone wants to join, Gina Michael's the person to go to. And she'll put you on the WhatsApp group. So we literally just started screw tape. So we haven't even met up yet for that one. So if anyone's interested in joining the book club, speak to either myself tonight or Gina Michael when you get a chance to see her. The 20th, so next Saturday and Sunday we've got the church fete. So next Saturday night is more of a night fete kind of night. So we're not really going to have a topic. And then the weekend after, on the Saturday night, on the Saturday morning is the ordination of Abba Mikhail. Do you know Abba Mikhail? St. George's Church. He's getting ordained as a priest. Sorry, he's getting ordained as a priest next week. And then we'll be back on Saturday night. And then there's YSC on the 26th, Friday night, 26th of November, at Eporo with His Grace Bishop Daniel, Bishop of and Abba of the monastery. Okay, there's 3 other dates that you put in your calendars, and you need to book ASAP with, is it all Marina Mech? So the 18th of December, we're going out for a youth day. So we're planning like a day to just go out and have a barbie on the beach or whatever. I think Mornington was one of the ideas, something like that. So 18th of December, that's with Mikhail, Marina Mech, Danny's sister. 20th of January, it's a Thursday night, I think. We're having the annual gala dinner. I remember some of you guys came last year, so we're doing that again. So time for you guys to dress up like you guys go on to the Oscars. Okay. 20th of Jan, again, book with Marina Mech. I think that's already been booked, so we just need the numbers now. It's going to be at Birth. Docklands, hey? Same place. From the 3rd to the 8th of February, we're planning a trip to Queensland, a youth trip to Queensland. And I think it's capped at what, 30 people, 35 people?
Yeah. If anyone's interested, they can either come to me or Una and just let us know. It's not finalised yet, but we just want to gauge the numbers.
I think it's capped with us, with the trip. But then if you want to make your way down and book your own accommodation, and then you can join in with the activities. But I think the idea is that we try to book it so we're not like, I don't know.
It's
Yeah.
just more organised. And things
So it's
are
just more
getting
organised between-
expensive
yeah.
as well, so the earlier we can.
Yeah, does that make sense? So you can still join us even if you can't book with the 35, the cap. Sounds good? So 3rd to 8th of February, okay? Oh. Yeah. So, is there a Google form?
On the link tree.
Okay, so on the link tree on the Instagram, there's a form to fill out if you want to help out with the fete next week on Saturday and Sunday, all day Saturday and Sunday. If you can just, I think you'll be able to pick a time when you're free. You can come and help out for like a few hours and then like go do whatever you need to do. We've got, so a few things. So what I'm going to get from Pete tonight is his book list, because it's as if we're going back to uni and getting all of our books again. And it was really good to like hear all of those titles that I've never heard. I've heard of the C.S. Lewis ones, but not the other ones. But it'll be good to, and we can post it on the youth page and share that with you if anyone's interested. Also, there's a few podcasts going around. It's called Ancient Faith Radio. Anyone heard of Ancient Faith Radio? So they're a Greek Orthodox in America podcast, and they've got like a lot of other podcasts. There are a few. So there's one in particular called Be the Bee, by a guy called Steve Christoforou, and he's actually going to not come to Australia, but over Zoom he's going to give us a talk over Zoom from Ancient Faith Radio and from Be the Bee on the 4th of December at midday, okay? So 4th of December, Steve Christoforou from Ancient Faith Radio, Be the Bee, is going to give us a talk. So it's going to be really, really good. If you want to listen to Be the Bee, he does like these little podcasts. There's heaps of episodes, but the podcast is only like, each episode's about 3 or 4 minutes. So they're not really long, not that long. Really, really good, straight to the point. And Steve's all about youth ministry and stuff like that. So we've organised that for the 4th of December. Okay, there's a lot of dates. You can go. We'll keep you posted, keep you updated. Everything on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. Anything else, Danny? You sound like you want to say something. Okay. Anything? Oh, there's pizza downstairs, so please go downstairs and enjoy some fellowship and some pizza, and see you guys downstairs. And then, if any questions, go to Peter. Lord, make us worthy to pray thankfully. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Through Jesus Christ our Lord, for thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory, forever. Amen. The love of God the Father, grace of his only begotten Son, our Lord God and Saviour Jesus Christ, gift and the fellowship of the communion of the Holy Spirit be with you all. Go in peace. The peace of the Lord be with you all.